Well, hello there, my friend, and welcome back. My name's Gavin. This is my channel. I'm glad you're here. We like to cut through the fluff. We like to cut through the sensationalism. We like to get down into the nitty gritty of true crime. That's what we do here. If that's what you're looking for, you have found the right place. Hey, listen, having said all that, the regular standard intro, this one's going to be a little bit different. This one's a little different, guys. They're all a little bit different. But I saw a video today published by Robbie Harvey that kind of got in my craw just a little bit. Ooh, before we go, hey, we've done some upgrading to the old technology here at the Gavin Fish Studio. Look, do you see this? This is a panic button. Anytime there's a problem, you guys know, like my mods freak out whenever do you remember the last time I had Elizabeth Jones on and there was an echo and nobody could get a hold of me? Well, look, now they have a panic button. And when they trigger the panic button, can you guys see the light on my face? Did you see that? Here, we'll do it one more time. I've got a giant red flashing light right here. Just in case there's a problem, my mods can let me know. We want to make sure that we don't give a heart attack to Autumn or Mooney. We don't want to lose any of them, right? So we've done that upgrade. Okay. Robbie Harvey published a video today that kind of took to task a content creator over on TikTok. I'm going to play some of the video. I mean, I went to the original video after he brought it up. For me, the purpose of this is not to throw anybody under the bus. It is to have a discussion about the insidious nature of a certain kind of content that is so tempting. And it's the content style called the family vlog, right? The poster child for family vlogs gone wrong, of course, is Ruby Franke, right? Well, 8 Passengers was the name of her channel. And this was started out as a very wholesome channel vlogging the daily, goings on of the Franke family. Of course, there's been a documentary that has come out recently. The reason that 2 of the children don't have their faces blurred out is because they have gone public. And we're actually going to watch a video from this last October from Shari Franke, who is over there on the left there. But of course, like Ruby Franke, they built this huge audience with her husband, with her family. She looked like she was a loving, though strict mom, but behind the scenes, boy, did it get dark. She eventually pleaded guilty to aggravated CA, child A, right? Sentenced up to 30 years in prison. So, of course, this is like the extreme, but there are so many other examples of family vlogs gone wrong. And here's one. This is the Stauffer family, or Stauffer, however they say it. They got millions of followers on YouTube documenting their journey with a special needs boy that they adopted from China. And so they filmed the milestones and the struggles. And of course, I mean, this is like the pot calling the kettle black, right? I'm making a living on YouTube, at least part of my living on YouTube. So I'm not saying all content creation is bad. I'm just saying this starts to get unhealthy. In this case, what happened was it just got apparently too hard for them. So they quietly rehomed their adopted son. And, no criminal charges in that one, but boy, was there public outrage. Here's one, Jordan Cheyenne, right? So she's a lifestyle YouTuber. She filmed a video announcing that her family dog was sick and then accidentally uploaded footage showing herself coaching her young son to cry harder for the thumbnail, right? Of course, public saw for what it was. It was emotional manipulation, and she eventually apologized, took a break from YouTube. But that clip obviously exposed that ugly side of trying to present a polished family, happy family, to the rest of the world. Let's see, the last one I'm thinking of was Okay Baby. This was Kira and Oscar. They started vlogging young. They built a loyal audience about their marriage, their relationship, their kids. But when their relationship came to an end, they kept on filming, even documenting their breakup and the custody plans with their children. So critics pointed out how their kids were being used to stir up emotional engagement for the videos. And, obviously to keep the ad dollars flowing in. Again, no charges or anything like that with them, but it's just such a tempting thing. And guys, when you see me, and I'm not like any type of lifestyle vlogger, I try to be as real as I possibly can be. I am a middle-aged fat guy who really loves investigating crime. That's who I am. But, I talk about my wife and our kids and our vacations and visiting, the kids in New York and going back and visiting family. And I've shared pictures. And life isn't as perfect as it looks on YouTube. It just isn't. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has issues. There are sad moments in every life, and there are difficult times. And when somebody is doing this kind of vlogging where they are the characters in their own story, it becomes as if their children are characters in their story, and it becomes, it's just so tempting to try to put forward this perfect vision of what you are, who you are as a family. And I can see how it's very easy for people to go, I could do that. So I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here. I mean, I would throw Ruby Franke under the bus for sure. She is a criminal. She has been charged, and she has been pleaded guilty. She is now in prison, right? But I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, especially the creator. I'm going to show you a couple videos from TikTok. I don't know that I even necessarily need to say the name of the creator here, but she's in a position where her child is acting out. She's on a live, and she just doesn't handle it well. I think this video it's about 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Then I've got a couple more that I want to, one more before I want to show you Shari Franke. Okay, so let's just check this out together. I need headphones. All right, here we go.
Can you open this?
What is this? Absolutely not right now.
Remember, she's on a live stream right now.
What the f is it? It's the girl. This is bracelets. We don't have the time for that. We can do it tonight.
Can you just open it?
No, because you can have that everywhere.
No, I won't. Open it. Give me it.
I'm not opening it. I'm not opening
This
it.
child is acting out for sure.
I can.
Okay, period. Get out of my room with it.
Riley, not right now, baby.
No,
I'm opening it.
I didn't told her no.
Punk, we're going to.
What, Riley, you're making.
Don't start, Riley.
Girl, I will smack this on your
Give
head.
me mine.
She's using very coarse language with her.
We're
I'll take
going
it
to
back.
Monster Jam.
Give me it. Give me it. Give me it. Give me it.
Get out.
Give me it. Fine. Give me it. Give me it.
Get out of my room.
Give me it.
Touch me again.
Mommy, touch me again.
Get out of my room.
Look at that guy.
Yeah. I'm so glad you're so nice and like your mother sister.
Yeah.
My husband,
Mom is like you
you
kids.
know what's being mean to me.
Oh, how's this being mean to you? None of your that's what
What's that? It's a spin thing and
my daughter says.
you don't
We're going to Alabama.
Spin. I'll show
Well, why is
you.
it not spinning?
You have to hold it and spin it like this.
Okay, I'm done. Piss me off. I'm so excited to see them and I just ruined it.
You're the one who ruined it.
Get the hell out of my room!
You get on the
And you're not going no nowhere. Get out. Who said? Who said? Who? Because I'll drop you motherfuckers off.
I told you she wasn't going.
You won't go nowhere.
Mommy. Mommy.
Huh.
Mommy.
What?
They're acting as this is normal.
New jammers.
I got you new pajamas? Yes, I
Are too
did.
big for me?
They are a little bit, but it's okay. 0 to 100.
But Tina got
She's
me.
bipolar.
But Tina got me some blue jammers,
I got you some blue pajamas. Yeah.
and they're too small.
Did you have? They're too small for you. She don't know what size you wear. I know that's right.
Yeah, so this is that's the video. Like, the child was acting out for sure, but she's yelling expletives at her child, and she's doing it on a live stream. And I honestly believe that this person isn't a bad person. I think this person is a stressed person trying to keep up appearances, and just had a moment where she just had a moment. Now, it feels like that there are many moments like this, because of the way that her daughter reacts to the way that she is speaking. But it's still, I mean, she's got on the fresh makeup, she's got her perfect hair. It's so, guys, it is so insidious, this whole thing. Now, let me play for you her apology video.
Nobody deserves that, especially my children. Unfortunately, I have some very dark, deep-rooted things inside of me that I have been working to heal for the last 2-ish years, and some of those things still come out whenever I am triggered. I am not a perfect mother. I have never claimed to be. Unfortunately, I was very triggered yesterday. I was very overstimulated, and I exploded. And before you look at me and say, oh, I get overstimulated too and I don't snap out like that, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm so happy for you. I'm working towards that. This video showed you a very small snippet of my live. It didn't show you the before. It didn't show you the after, where I hung up and went and calmed the down, apologized to my child, and we talked through these things. I shouldn't have had to apologize for anything because I shouldn't have done it in the first place. I am very well aware of that. My children are well loved. Anybody that knows us or knows anything about us knows that our children are loved.
Actually, that's one of those things where, I mean, if you have to defend whether or not you love your child, you're in a bad spot.
Unfortunately, I still have some major things that I need to work on, and I'm working towards that every single day. But I just wanted to come on here and take that accountability and kind of own my actions and acknowledge that those are not okay, and I know that that's not okay.
So that was her apology. Now, like, good on her for apologizing. She has since taken down her account and marked other social media as private, so you can't get in. But again, my point isn't really to throw her on the bus. I think that she probably has been sucked into this whole idea that accounts like, 8 Passengers has put in front of people that this is just the way it is. This is, I need to look perfect. I need to act perfect. And then in one moment, I kind of feel like it happens more often than not, because the husband, like if my wife snapped at one of my children like that, I would know that there was a moment, right? I would be gathering the children. Hey, come on, kiddos. Why don't we go, ride bikes on the driveway or something? Give mommy a moment. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that happens in the background. And if you saw the documentary on Ruby Franke, my goodness, was there a lot of that. So I just feel like this is the kind of content, and I know this really isn't true crime related, but this is the kind of content that we shouldn't be consuming. We should be consuming other stuff. I guess that's all I'm saying. Just be very careful with what you consume, because the more you consume it, the more ad dollars are driven, and the more incentive people like Ruby Franke, people like the Stoffers, people like Jordan Cheyenne, people like OK Baby, Kira, Sivertson, Oscar Morales, they are driven to do more of. I mean, this couple full on was exploiting their children's trauma during a family bifurcation, right? It was like, but you got to keep those ad dollars rolling. So we've got to be very, very comfortable with what we with what we watch. We also need to be very careful about what we believe we are seeing, because we are not seeing the whole story. Okay. Now, getting back over to Shari Franke. Shari is over there on the left. She's a little younger in this picture than she is now. This obviously was taken years before she went off to college. She was disowned by her mother. She was disconnected by her father. Her dad was, oh my goodness, her dad was gas lit by his wife. And anyway, back in October, she gave a testimony at a Utah state, because that's where they are, the state of Utah, this legislative, hearing. So I want to play this just in case you haven't seen it. And I would just really encourage you to seek out more content from Shari Franke. This young woman is really making a difference in the world. She lived through being a child in a home of a family vlogger, and she's just like, nope, we do not want to do that ever, ever, ever again. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and we'll take comments here afterwards. Here we go.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and committee members. Thank you for your time. Understand where you're at in terms of the schedule. I will be extremely brief.
This is
wanted
October
this to
of
be
last
an
year.
issue on interim study because of the importance of the issue and its relative unknown, the fact that it's unknown by, I think, most people in the legislature and the public, the vulnerability of child actors in traditional media and also in new forms of social media influencers.
Actually, let's pause there for a second, because, guys, the social media influencer child is the new equivalent of the child actor, like the traditional Hollywood actor. And I can't even tell you just how insidious and unhealthy it is for children working in Hollywood. Or actually even in the stage. Like it is so dangerous for them because there's so many people around them that take deep advantage of them. It is only very few exceptions of child actors that make it through and come out healthy. And now we've got this extra level, these social media children. And I mean, that's the equivalent of what they are. They are the old time child star.
And would like to invite a well-known person in our state to testify about it, Shari Franke. And so I'm going to turn the time over to her.
Right. Thank you for having me today. My name is Shari Franke. My mother, Ruby Franke, is a prominent family vlogger that was arrested last year for child abuse. I don't come today as the daughter of a felon, nor as a victim of an abnormally abusive mother. I come today as a victim of family vlogging. My goal is not to present any idea of a solution to this problem, but to shed light on the ethical and monetary issues that come from being a child influencer. When children become stars in their family's online content, they become child influencers. It is more than just filming your family life and putting it online. It is a full-time job with employees, business credit cards, managers, and marketing strategies. The difference between family vlogging and a normal business, however, is that all the children are employees. Children from before they are born to the day they turn 18 have become the stars of family businesses on YouTube, Instagram, and other social media platforms.
Thanks,
Utah
Mama.
is specifically a hotspot for family content due to the LDS culture around family and the goal to share the church with the world. We also have large families, which makes family content more lucrative. Specifically, many parents film their regular family life as an online video blog called a vlog. But I want to be clear that there is never, ever a good reason for posting your children online for money or fame. There is no such thing as a moral or ethical family vlogger. At first, family vlogging is an alluring business that can...
And actually, let me just, I mean, I remember falling victim to, I guess I had a desire to use my children in a way to do an online business. Way back in the day, was it called Ryan's World? It's like this little kid that would play with toys and tell people what he liked about toys and what he didn't like about toys and stuff like that. And it became such a lucrative business And I knew people who knew them, and they were telling me stories about what it is that they were earning. I'm like, man, my kids could do that. My kids are so good looking. They're so charismatic. They are really comfortable in front of a camera. I should do that. But I mean, I'm glad I didn't. I'm really glad I didn't. What Shari is saying here is there is never a good reason to do that. Ever. We all need to be so careful.
High revenue. For my family, it became the primary source of income, as is often the case with most full-time family vloggers. Many child influencers are paid for their work, as I was, and this money has helped me in my adult life. However, this payment was usually a bribe. For example, we'd be rewarded $100 or a shopping trip if we filmed a particularly embarrassing moment or an exciting event in our lives. Or other times, simply going on vacation was expected to be payment enough, because most kids don't get to go on regular and expensive trips. Never mind the fact that the child's labor is actually what paid for the vacation or trip. There is no law in place to guarantee that child influencers get any money from their work. If a family account does not become an LLC, parents are taxed heavily for paying their children. But parents also receive tax write-offs for the regular clothes that they wear, the gas money used to drive places, and even the houses they live in. Anything that is filmed can be written off. And even after registering their business as an LLC, there is no guarantee that children will get paid. Any payment that does happen is under the table with no paper trail. And how do we determine how much a child should make from appearing in family content? What price is worth giving up your childhood? But despite any monetary payment children may receive, don't let this excuse the 24/7 labor that these children are subjected to. As a child, I was fully aware that I was an employee. The business was successful when I was happy or when I shared my hardships with the world. Some of our most popular videos were when my eyebrow was accidentally waxed off and the whole world saw a crying teenager when I just wanted to mourn in private. Or the time I was violently ill and got the leading role in the video that day. My friends became scarce because dates were filmed and none of my friends wanted to be on camera. The camera never stops and there is no such thing as a break from filming. At the time I tell you I had a choice in what was filmed, but I've come to learn that every child influencer, in a way, suffers from Stockholm Syndrome. Most child influencers would probably tell you they have full control over what is posted, but the reality is that their parents bribe and shame them into posting their most vulnerable moments. In fact, many child influencers may tell you that they enjoy their work because of the monetary perks they receive or the fun experiences that they can have. After all, what child would say no to a fun vacation or shopping spree if all they needed to do was film an embarrassing moment? But as children, we do not understand the consequences of filming our lives and posting it for the world to see. We cannot give consent to our parents to post our lives. In any other context, it is understood that children cannot give consent, but for some reason, people think family vlogging is different. I did not realize the impact that filming as a child would have on me now. My social media became flooded with rumors of having sexual relations with my own brother, to being called a baby birthing machine at the age of 13. All these things have stuck with me, and I will forever live between the ages of 13 to 17 in many of my viewers' minds. In addition, pedophiles stalk the internet, specifically seeking out child influencers. I promise you that the parents are aware of these predators and choose to post their children anyway. I understand that this is a big issue to tackle, and I am not asking you to ban family vlogging, though that is my end goal. I also understand that as Utahns, we don't appreciate big government overreach. But when it comes to protecting children, it should be a bipartisan issue. The only people harmed by child influencer laws are the parents exploiting their children. While this may not seem like an issue now, as child influencers in Utah continue to grow up, I foresee there will be legal crises, with these children realizing that vlogging has brought severe emotional distress, or these kids may realize they don't have an appropriate amount of money to show for their labor. After all, how does that child know how much they should have made versus what their parents may or may not have paid them? Let's deal with this now before we reach that point. But even despite a good paycheck, I want to be absolutely clear that there is no amount of money that can justify selling your soul as a child to the world. In no other industry would we justify unregulated child labor with a huge paycheck, and we should not do that here. If I could go back and do it all again, I'd rather have an empty bank account now and not have my childhood plastered all over the internet. No amount of money I received has made what I've experienced worth it. While I don't have all the answers nor many feasible solutions for this problem, I am proud to be one of the first child influencers in the state of Utah to speak against this issue. I don't want people to look at me and blame my unique circumstances with a mother in prison to the Franke criminal case. Family vlogging ruined my innocence long before Ruby committed a crime. I promise you that my experiences are not unique and are happening to child influencers all over Utah and the country. So let's tackle this issue before it becomes a bigger crisis than it already is. Thank you.
It's an
Thank you for
amazing,
your testimony.
amazing testimony.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yeah, so I guess the thing that I was thinking about today is just we need to be very careful of the patronage that we give to different content creators. If you ever notice that I have shifted over onto an unhealthy plane, I would hope that you would run for the hills. I really do. I think that would be my only indication, because it's so, when you get into a place where you believe your own press, it's hard to get out of there, man. It's really, really, really hard to get out of there. So that's why I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. Let's go over to your comments here real quick. First of all, Robin Bernardi, we're at 117. I actually was awakened today by a text from my wife, who was on a business trip, saying 117. And that's pretty fun. That's really fun. Thank you all for continuing to support me. That is really something. I can't believe that. Surth River says congrats on the 117. Brenda says that glorious hair. Oh my goodness. It is killing me. Super Charismatic says thank you for blurring out the minor children and giving them anonymity. Yeah, I almost messed up on one of those, by the way. That's one of the reasons why we were late today. I went, oh, there are 4 faces that I haven't blurred. So, yeah. Moth's Mommy says, I bought Shari's book. It had a disappointing ending, which was that she forgave her dad everything. You know what? I would have hoped that she would have, and I would have hoped that he would have forgiven himself. That guy went through the ringer. Now, the only reason that I would want Shari to forgive her dad and for him to forgive himself is for their own health, their own emotional and mental and spiritual health. You can't go around in the world just hating people. It's bad for you. I'm having an issue right now with a person that is an old, I thought, dear friend. And I'm struggling between really, really hating the guy and remembering you can't hate him. You can't do that. It's bad for him. It's bad for you. You got to forgive, right? So, and one of the most amazing examples I've ever had in my life, and I won't give names, but I'm aware of a family who they are currently like my parents' age, and they had a daughter that was one of my sister's ages, and their daughter was walking across a busy intersection in the crosswalk with the little light going saying please walk, when a drunk driver blew through the intersection and hit her with his car, killed her. And at the sentencing hearing, the victim's family asked the judge to please don't throw the book at him. Let him pay an appropriate price and then let him get on with his life, because the tragedy was that one life had already been lost, and depending on what the judge did, according to them, a second life would have been lost, and they didn't want that. And they chose to forgive that young man. And And they have always said, and I bet if I asked them right now, they've always said that was the right thing to do and it helped them heal. So I hope that Shari did. I hope that she forgave her mother, though I don't think that she would ever trust or necessarily even talk to her mother ever again. But I hope in her heart she's been able to add that forgiveness, because we only hurt ourselves when we hang on to that stuff. But Mott's Mummy, thank you very much for your comment. I hope you didn't feel like I was attacking you there. I just disagree. Robin says, I've got plenty of regular everyday drama going on in my own house. I don't need to visit extra drama. That's funny. That's funny. And yet, I'm just trying to apply what you're saying to me. Yeah, I had plenty of like teenage drama in my life because I was a teenager and all teenagers have drama. And yet, every week I tuned in to Beverly Hills 90210. That's funny. Mooney says, Gavin, life isn't perfect on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok either. Exactly. Autumn Doyle, you should do a test run on the panic button to see if Gavin is tracking. Go ahead, Autumn. Go ahead. And I know that you will see this in a few minutes, but I'm guessing in like 30 seconds that light's going to go off. I want to see it. Keep on scrolling here. Tamara Webster says, I don't feel it was a moment. I feel it's more routine. Yeah, for her, I feel that same way. And I hope that she is working through those things. It's, guys, parenting is a very difficult job. It's tough, man. There's Autumn. It works, Autumn. It works. Okay, now no more horseplay. We know that it works. And she might be trying to save face, but parenting is hard, and I hope that she's working through it. I hope that she can stop that kind of behavior. I know it's very difficult when children are acting out. It's very difficult. I kind of felt like that child was used to acting out, but again, parenting is really hard, man. Yeah, Tina goes, then shut off the camera and be a mom. Yeah, that is the temptation. That is the thing, right? That temptation to keep earning, to keep building the audience, and guys, I know how this feels. Not from a family vlogging aspect, but yeah, from a YouTube content creator aspect, there's a lot of pressure. And I remember a long time ago, I was live streaming about the Amanda Winkowski case. I was in my basement office at the time. And above the basement office is our dining room. And the dining room has a grate that you can, like, the littles could call down to me for like, hey, Daddy, it's time for lunch or whatever. We're going to school. Bye, Dad. That kind of thing. And I was in the middle of a live stream and I heard, hey, Daddy, can I can't remember what she was asking, but I was like, live stream, embarrassed. Love, can't talk right now. Yeah, but it's just really fast. I can't talk right now. And after like the fourth or fifth, man, I just wanted to go after her. I was just, I ended up pausing the live stream, heading upstairs and explaining, you can't ask right now. In about 20 minutes, you can ask. Until then, hold your horses. It was funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah, overstimulated. Get off the live. Yes. Beck says, Gavin, being a parent is tough. It's tougher when you're emotionally immature and neglectful. You have to interrupt yourself and pay attention to your kids' connection over correction. Yeah, I agree with everything there. I agree with that. People are far too comfortable in their parasocial relationships. Super charismatic, you've used a word that I don't know what it is. I have to look it up. Parasocial meaning. A one-sided relationship, typically between an individual and a media persona. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. So your comment again was people are far too comfortable in their parasocial relationships on both sides of the camera. Yeah, I agree. On both sides of the camera, we can fall victim to thinking that there's an actual relationship happening, like there's a bit of a relationship here, right? It's one of a content creator and an audience. It's very much the same kind of relationship, though I wouldn't put myself in this category, but with like a film or TV actor and their audience. The audience, I mean, it's easy to feel like you know a person because you've watched them for years and years and years. Certainly, that's really easy. And on the other side of the camera, it's easy to think that you understand the people that are watching, why they're doing it too. So you're right. Super charismatic. That is a great comment. Great comment. Jenny Jen, this seems to be a thing in Utah. Yeah. And actually, Shari brought that up in her testimony, right? Part of the LDS culture. And again, I'm a member of the church. I'm a member of the LDS church. I get it. It's that culture of wanting to share what makes you happy, hoping that other people will want to do the same thing too. So there's that culture. Plus, everybody has such big families. She pointed it out as perfect. It's very, very. I think Utah is kind of the epicenter of this kind of thing. Yes. The Roz Rodriguez, you didn't put GF in here, but this cracked me up. My parents told us bad words in Spanish. I thought and still think that's so very disrespectful to your kids. You know what my grandparents did? They spelled words that they didn't want us to know. And we got pretty good at spelling. Yep. Gail says these family bloggers are making big bucks putting their children on TikTok, and this all needs to be banned. Yeah, and Shari Franke's testimony was there. Like, I really want this gone. I want this banned. There is a fine line there, right? I mean, one of the things that I was thinking of was when I was a kid, we got paid to go like water the mink or to bring the cows in for milking a couple times a day or shoveling manure or, driving sheep. There were jobs that we did as kids that all the kids did, bringing in hay. There were tons of jobs where we worked and we were paid for that labor, and the pay was, I'm sure, much lower than minimum wage because they were all family farms, right? But there are child labor laws governing that. I think that there need to be some, and I'm not a person that easily says there ought to be a law. I never think that is the solution, but it does feel like there is some there's some need to protect these kids here, for sure. Let's see. Just refresh. Give me just a second. Heck, Jess says Michelle Hobson's another abusive YouTube mother who's in jail awaiting trial when she died. Yeah. Ooh, Tanya, this is an interesting thing. People come for the content and stay for the dumpster fire. Everyone loves watching people fall. It's sad. Yeah, that is something in us, right? Maybe it makes us feel like life is what do they call that? A zero-sum game, that somebody else's misfortune equals misfortune for you. We all kind of fall into that. Yeah. Dad got Shari arrested. I'll have to look that up. Robin says hate is a cancer. I agree. Jersey Red 13, my husband's mom is 92 and dying. We've gone to see her many times, even though she wasn't a good mom. Holding on to that feeling isn't healthy. He's forgiven her. I'm happy about that. That's hard. It is a cancer. It's tough. Marie says, Gavin, doesn't it make you think of what Gypsy Rose's mother did to her allegedly free perks for yeah, ugh. Yeah. Autumn says, I feel like you and I are best friends. I like that. Well, Autumn, you and I do actually know each other. There's a difference there. Yeah, I'm not sure if Utah laws make it easy. I mean, Utah does tend to be more libertarian, a little more conservative. I don't know that I don't know if there are other states that have laws on the books that Utah could follow. I'm not sure. Okay, Dad tried to have Shari arrested, but the police said she didn't commit a crime. Yeah, I think Dad was, dude, he was convinced, man. Ruby Franke had him wrapped around her little finger 100% from the very beginning. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, Carol says, yeah, Predators Watch. How horrific is that? It is. It's horrible. So guys, I guess that's my little screed. I did end up kind of throwing somebody under the bus, but I just want us to be aware of this, that this can lead to and has led to major crimes, and the victims in these crimes are children. So on our side, what we can do is just not consume the content. And hopefully that will help solve the problem. On the other side, there probably should be some legislative action. All right. Hey, tonight, I believe, is the last night my snuggly bear, my wife Kimberly, is away on a business trip. And boy, am I excited to have her home. Hopefully she'll be home before we start live streaming tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on this channel. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. Looks like we got 107, almost 117 That's pretty cool. So join me back tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here. Until then, I bid you adieu, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.